So we're going to be working today with Cassandra. She's our model. She comes from beauty school, so we're actually really excited because she was willing to have a pretty extreme change today. We're going to be taking a lot of her hair off. So basic sectioning for this haircut, what we're going to do is take right along the parietal ridge to a point in the back, just directly below the crown of the head. The inspiration for this haircut is really nice, tight, clean. We're gonna have a disconnected top. It's gonna be very similar to like a Miley Cyrus kind of haircut. A lot of celebrities have been wearing this haircut lately, so just really taking it nice and tight on the sides and then having it longer on top. So we started with the diagonal back section, working fingers length from the head, real nice and close. We're using the round of the head, so we're cutting a round section just to make sure that we have a nice soft shape, as opposed to trying, working triangular, or we're just really trying to lay that hair right against the head. One thing to really pay attention to as you're cutting this haircut is to make sure that your body is always flowing, moving around the head with each section that you take. If we get stuck planting our feet, what's going to happen is we're going to create corners where we don't want them. So just keep your feet flowing around the head and make sure that section and your fingers are parallel to that section as you pull them out. Nice clean section. Check for your guide. Go in and cut. We're working with a finer texture of hair. It's going to help definitely that we've pre-lightened it. It's going to make it feel a little bit thicker. It's going to give it more texture, but I'm using the finer teeth of the comb just to get a little bit more tension on her hair. Make sure we get a nice precise line on it. Now you'll notice I don't follow all the way through when I work that section. I find that if I work a little bit at a time and I'm not working my way all the way around the head, I'm going to stay more consistent. So I'll work my way up just a little bit on this portion of the head, then we'll start working our way back. Now we're going to work into the back. So we're going to connect from a guide right in the front, just following that line down. Key thing here is to make sure that we're going to make this cut and then I'm going to round that corner. A lot of people want to go straight down at this point. They build up too much bulk in the back of the head. So you'll see my fingers start to round as we're rounding the round of the head. Again, nice clean sections is really the key to this. We're going to go through a few different ways of cross-checking and all of that, but we want to make sure that we get it right the first time. So going in, taking a little bit of the old hair, adding in the new hair, nice clean section. You can see that my elevation is definitely lower at this point. Building up a nice little weight line right at the round of the head, so it gives her a really nice, when you're looking straight on at her, she's going to have a nice shape to her head. Just kind of showing that weight line right there. You'll see a lot of hairstylists, they'll scoop under to grab that section. I like to make sure that I comb down into the hair so that I'm not scooping up the guide and pushing the guide away from where it naturally should live. Just kind of taking my comb underneath, grabbing the hair and then combing down into it, pushing that new hair into the guide. Again, following the round of the head, just working my way around. We're going to keep the hair, you'll see I keep it kind of flowing in one direction. So as we go through to cut it, you're going to, each section I take becomes easier and easier because it's already combed in that direction. Now we're just going to speed through so you don't have to watch this whole entire thing, but I want you to catch every little movement that we make with the comb and the scissor. So same thing, grab the hair, pull it down, you're going to see that weight line building. I can always soften that a little bit later. I'd rather leave a little bit heavier of a weight line and just kind of dust off and remove it little by little later when it's dry. Again, finger length. We're going to start a new guide on this side. Much easier, staying consistent with it. Finger length from the head, working palm to palm, diagonal back. Connecting into the back again. Making sure we're not working past our second knuckle as we cut. Even if I did work past my second knuckle, I'll make sure that I recomb and grab the hair. It has nothing to do with cutting yourself. It's really all about the tension that you're gonna have, and to make sure that you keep the consistency within the tension in the haircut. So straight out from the head again, palm to palm. Coming down into the guide. You see I have a real nice tight tension with my fingers and the hair, making sure that we can get the best line that we can get in the haircut. In the video, I'm rotating her. In the salon, if I was working behind the chair, I would be rotating around her head for the most part, kind of making sure that I use every tool that I have, whether the chair turns or I turn her, just making sure that I'm following that round of her head and I'm not stretching to take any of the sections, just so that the consistency and the weight buildup of the haircut stays the way it should. We're going to do something fun with this part of the haircut. I'm actually going to, we're going to finish up this section here with the round layering. And then this little chunk in the corner here, I'm going to leave that as a disconnection, something that we can play with later. This is definitely a choice that you can make with your guests. So we're just going to bring it down to 0 elevation. I'm going to cut a guideline in it, and then we're going to cut that layer at the top. Cassandra's, from beauty school, so this is kind of a fun haircut for her, so we can have a little bit more fun with it. With the guests in the salon, I probably wouldn't leave that disconnection so much. I would remove it, and then we'd cut the top a little bit shorter. With her hair, we're having a little bit more fun with it. Leaving that disconnection is something that we can have kind of mess around with at the end of the haircut. Now we're just going to go through little scissor over comb work, cleaning up behind the ear, making sure that her haircut looks nice, clean, uniform, and put together. Now this shouldn't be to really remove any bulk. I'm just going through, dusting the edges. It always makes things a little more perfect. It's kind of like if you were working with a photo in Photoshop and you just go in and you take out the little blemishes on somebody's face or something. This is, just taking off those little details and blending everything even more. It just makes the haircut look that much better. So we're going to divide the top into 4 sections. So we're going to split it at the division point. I'm going to comb that whole front portion over to the side, and we're going to work from the back. Now my back point here is coming from that guide that I cut at 0 degrees in the back, and we're going to cut a nice round section straight up from the head from that guideline. So I know exactly where I wanted it to fall in the back, so I cut that one length, and now I'm bringing that up to be my guide for the rest of the haircut. Following the round of the head, still a round part of the haircut, but a nice high elevation, removing as much weight as possible so we can have a lot of freedom in the top of the haircut. Now we have our guide, so everything's going to come straight up from that point, straight out from the head, no over direction, just to make sure, because we only have this angle of this part of the cut, so there's no over direction whatsoever. It's just straight out from the head. That last little bit in the corner there. straight out from the head, following the round of the head. Highest elevation, removing maximum weight. Same thing on the other side. Key thing to focus on here is that we're going to be pushing the hair away from our body. On the other side, we are pulling it towards our body. It's just, again, consistency with how we comb. Combing is the most important part of hair cutting. So if you can get the combing down and make your combing the best that it can be, the scissor cutting part is the easy part. So just combing it through, again, straight out from the head. Real simple. Last bit. Still combing away from our body, straight up from the head. Now we're going straight up. You can see that line from the previous section that we just cut. Now I'm just going to go through and point cut everything. I'm not trying to create a perfectly straight line at this point, just a high elevation, working through layering. Point cut technique, just have a nice little shattered line, a lot of texture in the front. So we're taking horizontal sections straight across the top of the head. What we're gonna do is, because that was at the division point is where we started this section, everything will be over directed back to that point. So if you can't see how that's being pulled backwards, it's definitely over directed, just center of the head, about where the apex of the head is. So just bringing everything back. So we get a nice little push of weight towards the front of her head. And point cutting through. Now you can see that disconnection, it looks great through the haircut. Now Thaddeus is going to go in, he's going to do a nice little flat wrap blow dry on it, but he's also going to lift it up, do a little bit of leafing, make sure that we get a nice amount of volume in there. This haircut looks great worn down as well. You don't have to wear it straight up, but what we're going to do for the look of the haircut is do a nice little round brush back, high elevation. You can see Thad and Drea working through there. Cool mohawk feel to the haircut, nice disconnection. Definitely something that you're seeing on the runways, a lot of celebrities wearing this haircut. Now we're just going to put the final finishing touches on the haircut, iron work on that disconnection. What I really want you to see in this portion of the video is the cleanliness of the sides, the way that disconnection falls over it. It really looks like a professional haircut. I think what sets this apart is the hand position, the body position that we had, the tension on the hair, the way that we're combing the hair, the consistency of that, and then going through with that scissor over comb technique. That's what makes us professionals, sets us apart. I hope you got a lot from the techniques on this haircut. Please visit us at gratitudeeducation.com. We have a lot of other haircuts on there. If you have any questions about this haircut, just shoot us a message. We'd love to chat with you. Thank you so much for watching.